Hawks win 2-1 in overtime. Philipp Kurashev is the hero, but Petr Mrazek, that's the real hero. We're going to wrap up the game. We're going to recap our takeover and more coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Happy Sunday and welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks post-game podcast. The Hawks beat the Minnesota Wild 2-1 in overtime. Thanks for being here. I'm Jay Zawoski with Greg Boyson and Mario Tirabassi.
Hello.
Nate's here. Thanks for your patience with the delayed start. We just got we had the takeover tonight at Fifth Third Arena, then at the United Center. And boy, what I forgot about when I leave after the second is it's much more difficult to leave after the third and after overtime.
It's super easy to get back here when no one else is leaving the arena.
Yeah, even leaving right after postgame, I was like, what are all these people still doing here?
Don't you have homes?
Yeah.
Usually they leave. I was walking out of the building with our pal Harvey, and he's like, "Oh, it's going to be tough getting out of here tonight." He's like, "Most people leave 5 minutes into the third. Now they stay to the end of the game."
I was going to say, usually there's lines out the door by 8 minutes left in the period, but not tonight. Not with this juggernaut of a team.
Hey, you know what? Joke all you want. I was very satisfied with the effort in this one, and we'll talk about the third period because it does warrant some discussion in terms of the strategy during the third, but boy, were they structured as hell tonight. Like, there were very few second chance opportunities. There were very few really high quality shots against. They were just very much like the Detroit game started. They kind of sustained that for the better part of 60 minutes. Now, the third, again, the Wild poured it on, but I was very pleased with the effort tonight.
I mean, think about when the Blackhawks are chasing a goal in a third period this season and how they've looked against teams where they're pushing and just not quite getting over the finish line sometimes. Other times, like against the Kings, able to tie it up and get to overtime and whatnot. But now take the Minnesota Wild, a team that's more talented than the Blackhawks, and have them push for a goal in a third period against a team like the Blackhawks. It's going to end up looking like that third period did, where the Wild were throwing everything at Chicago, and the guys were just trying to bend and don't break, and a breakdown of a play where Seth Jones and Nolan Allen are kind of colliding into each other, and the Wild tie the game. So unfortunate, but unlike the Jets game, which this kind of felt similar to, where the Jets, were pouring it on and then eventually tied it and won in overtime. The Wild poured it on late, tied it, but the Blackhawks, thanks to Philipp Kurashev, are able to find the OT winner, which was awesome. They needed a win like this against a team you're not expected to beat, to be able to do it at home was great. And we want to give a shout out to the Blackhawks. We graced them with our CHGO takeover presence, and the CHGO bump helped them.
You're welcome. By the way, I just went back and looked just real quick. The game against Winnipeg, the Hawks were outshot 17-8 in the third of that one. Today, 19-4.
But look at it this way: the Winnipeg Jets are 14-1.
They're good.
Best start in NHL history.
Pretty good.
Blackhawks were a minute away from shutting them out.
Yeah.
Minnesota Wild 10-2-2. If it wasn't for the Winnipeg Jets, everybody would be talking about how great the Minnesota Wild are. They were 4.5 minutes away from shutting them out. The Blackhawks have played their best hockey against the best teams they've played this year. Tonight, that Jets game, they beat the Oilers. They beat the Avalanche. Yep. Yeah, they caught them when they weren't playing their best hockey, but they're still great teams.
Yeah.
Those are teams that people have picked to win the Stanley Cup. They beat those teams, and then you have games where you lose to the Sharks, you lose to the Red Wings. That's the frustrating part about this season. But tonight, big win. Credit to those guys. 40 minutes, they played their best hockey of the season. The first two periods, the Wild had nothing. Wild, every shot was from the outside.
Yep.
The Hawks were clean zone entries, getting the puck up the ice. Kirill Kaprizov had an 8-game multi-point road point streak that was obviously snapped tonight.
Yes.
Part of that reason was he spent the first 2 periods playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you beat the Minnesota Wild, is make Kirill Kaprizov play defense. And this was their first win against the Minnesota Wild since pre-COVID.
2019.
Oof. Wow.
Yep. They were 0-9-3 in the last 12 games against the Minnesota Wild. So this is the first time they've beaten Minnesota since before COVID, which is crazy. That's literally a lifetime ago.
Well, the Blackhawks sweep the 3 stars of the game. 3rd star, Jason Dickinson with a goal. 2nd star, Petr Mrazek, stopped 32 of 33 shots. And your number 1 star of the game, Philipp Kurashev, with the game-winning goal. So here are your nominees for the 4-star. Get your votes in on YouTube, and we will reveal the winner at the end of the show, as well as the winner of Who's Your Hawk. Teuvo Teravainen, 5 shots on goal in 7 shot attempts. Seth Jones, 24-33 of ice time and assists, a shot, 3 shot attempts, and 3 block shots. And Alex Vlasic with 23-43 of ice time, 1 shot, 2 takeaways, and 2 block shots. A lot of really nice subtlety from Alex Vlasic tonight too. Just puck clearing and he just is so damn good.
Yeah, I think it's we're continuing to see every game this year those little things that he does so well defensively for this team and makes him, some people consider him one of the best purely defensive defensemen in the league, or at least one of the rising guys in that category. And, what's nice is not only is he really good at shutting down zone entries and was doing a really good job of that tonight. But he's really good in transition too, of getting the puck back up through neutral ice and getting it into offensive zone. And that's one of the things that I think is kind of underrated about his game, because he is so solid defensively that, getting it, and that's a big part of, being a solid defenseman is not only, can you stop what's happening in your own zone, but make sure that the time spent in that zone is minimal and get it up to your forwards and get it out in transition. And Vlasic has been really good at doing that this year. Tonight was another game where he did really well with that. I'd say him and Seth Jones are equally regarded, in my view, as the best defenseman on the team. And the scales are starting to tip towards Vlasic on a nightly basis.
Yeah, I think Teuvo Teravainen had a really solid game tonight too, and he's starting to sort of find that again that he had early in the year. I think there's people already in the chat kind of calling for a reunion of that top line. This worked. They played a really good game.
Did we not spend all of yesterday's show bitching and moaning that Luke changes the lines too much? Now you want him to change the lines again?
Well, we wanted to change them back to what they were at the beginning of the season, where Foligno was with Bedard. The
lines were fine tonight.
Yeah.
The only line that I had issues with was the Kurashev line, but he gets the game winner in overtime. So, I mean, it's not the line, but still. But, okay, so if 3 out of the 4 lines are working pretty well, then I guess you're stuck with that 4th combination.
Right.
You won. The lines worked really well tonight. That 3rd line was amazing, and Teuvo had his best game of the season by far. It's amazing how much more offense he generated by playing defense.
Yeah, well, I heard Dickinson, too, on the post-game talking with Charlie, just kind of about, Teuvo is just so calm. He's such a calming presence, and he's got such patience and poise that it really settles everybody else down on the ice. And I think we have a tendency to get frustrated when he's not producing and the goals aren't going in, and he goes 5, 6, 7 games without a point or a goal or whatever it might be. But Teuvo is always going to be out there, because he's going to be out there in a penalty kill. He's going to be out there if you need him to on a 3rd line in a shutdown role. That's why the signing made so much sense. Yes, he's a nice compliment to Bedard, but his versatility to play him up and down the lineup in all situations is really invaluable. And he was terrific tonight, and scored a goal a couple games ago. And I think he's starting to round out again, starting to feel his game coming back.
Putting him in a defensive first position is getting him going better. Yeah. 5 shots on goal, 7 shot attempts tonight. I mean, when was the last time we ever say that about him? There were so many nights we looked at it and go, 1 shot attempt. I think
Most nights when we see that, it's from a Hawks defenseman, honestly.
Yeah, like,
or Bedard. That's really it.
But it's like playing with Bedard, I think, put a lot of offensive pressure on him. And to start the year, he responded well, but I think really well, that's hard for him to sustain. So putting him on this line kind of recharged him. And Luke Richardson said after the game, we'll hear from him later, but he said that like that line got rewarded offensively tonight because they were constantly above the puck in the offensive zone. So when there was a turnover or a misplayed puck, they were right there to get on it and make a play. And, you know, Ilya Mikheyev might not be in the lineup for a little while because, you know, it seems that Jason Dickinson plays his, but we always joke about how Jason Dickinson brings the best out of anybody he plays with. Yeah. But it seems that Joey Anderson brings out the best in Jason Dickinson.
Yeah, Anderson played well tonight.
And I don't think he's coming out of the lineup anytime soon.
No,
either.
I did want to launch Jason Dickinson to the sun when he tried to pass it to Joey Anderson right there on the doorstep.
Well, and also
you had a better look at it than I did.
Yeah, that Anderson was wide open for a split second, and then it closed real quick. I didn't mind that play. The Jason Dickinson penalty in the first period from behind the net this morning or this afternoon before the game, Luke Richardson said we can't take stick penalties 200 feet away from our net if we want to beat this team. And then I'm like, well, that's the exact thing he said not to do.
Actually, I was 198 feet from the net. Right. Thank you very much.
Fine.
Luke.
But when he took that penalty, I was like, oh, man. Because I figured that was going to be the turning point just because the way they've played this year where, like, they get the early power plays. They lose the momentum there. Wild get I'm like, oh, here they go. They're going to cash in on here. Here comes Kaprizov's first point of the night. They kill it off, and then it's Dickinson later in the period that gets the big goal.
And Dickinson did a great job, too, with kind of minimizing what Kaprizov was able to do. There was he had a kind of a spinorama, little bit of a move, Kaprizov, but didn't notice him a ton in this game.
Yeah.
In terms of dangerous opportunities, I'm trying to look at his stats. Future Hawk Kirill Kaprizov had 5 shots on goal, and he had 10 shot attempts. So obviously a good game for him, and an assist too, but not a ton of like moments from him in this one.
Not the high danger, like
a few late in that third period where you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But and then when he was on the ice in overtime, you hold your breath. But
always, always. I did enjoy too in overtime when nothing came of it, but when Bedard touches the puck, the crowd is like fired up. The crowd was engaged, man. That's what's a good sign is, you know, for the last couple of years, the crowd was there because like I got tickets, you know.
Right.
Aside from like the first few Bedard games and maybe when a bigger opponent came to town, now there's like, I think this town is starting to learn who these guys are, starting to appreciate them a little bit. I think they're starting to jump on now and say, okay, I can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel here in terms of a rebuild. So the energy in the building was great. Part of it having to be with the Sunday night. Probably a lot of people double dipping, Bears and Hawks. And if you were at the Bears game, you were probably quite lubricated by the time you got to the Hawks game.
A lot of Minnesota fans in town.
Yeah.
Big crowd, a lot of standing room. I walked over in the first intermission from the press box over to your section. You could walk behind all the seats to get there from the press box, and there were a ton of standing room only, which you don't see a whole lot. But a Sunday night, a 6 o'clock Sunday night,
right.
A lot of people are off tomorrow with Veterans Day. Why not go to a Hawks game, have a good time, bring home a win? It was good effort by everybody in the stands and on the ice.
Yeah, I think Ben Pope put out the attendance. It was like 19,500 and change or something like that, like just short of a sellout. But yeah, it was good energy, and glad that they were able to get the win, especially on a day where Chicago fans were close to the edge.
Oof.
And hopefully this win can take a step back from the edge
this
afternoon.
I think a lot of people's Sunday afternoons have just freed up for the rest of the fall.
Yeah, it's got to that point.
I know mine has.
Can't wait to watch a 30-point loss to the Packers next week.
Another
for the 50th consecutive year.
Another Sunday where all I do is pray for a team to be sold and a coaching staff to be fired. A November tradition like no other.
All right, we are at the break zone here. We come back. We've got to give some flowers to Petr Mrazek, who was absolutely terrific in this game. Do us a favor if you haven't done it already. Hit that like button for us. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page. And if you're catching up on the podcast, we love you for that. Make sure you're following or subscribed and leave us a 5-star review, please, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Back with some Petr Mrazek talk on CHGO Blackhawks.
But first, if you're enjoying what the Blackhawks are doing this season, maybe you want to get out and see them when they're at the United Center, and you can do it with our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the best place to get tickets to all kinds of events that you want to go to, and Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. And the best thing about Game Time Picks, one of the best things about it, is that it's not just for sports, but all the concerts, theater shows, comedy shows, anything that you want to go and see, Game Time Picks can be used for that, not just for all the sporting events. Game Time Picks filters out all of the fluff to show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And Game Time, they have so many different things that make them one of the best places to go to get all the tickets that you want. Not only do they have the picks feature, they have the all-in pricing, which allows you to see the amount you're going to pay for your tickets up front before you get to check out. All the fees included, so there's no hidden fees, no surprises when you get to the end of your purchasing experience. And the views from your seat. You get a panoramic view from your seat when you use the Game Time app before you buy, so you can make sure that you're getting the best view for the event that you want to go to. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO, and you're going to get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CHGO, get $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
Game time.
Stop is.
And use that $20 you saved at Game Time to go get yourself some Sticky Nug. It's Sunnyside, your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. They've got their great brands there. My favorite, Good News and Mindy's. Oh, man, anytime I go to Sunnyside, I'm stocking up on those two brands and those Good News counting sheep, friends. Let me tell you, if you have trouble sleeping, you don't anymore. Get some counting sheep from Mindy's. If you're a pro, you know what you're doing. Don't worry. They've got over 100 strains on their menu and great flower available from Cresco, FloraCal, among others. And available now is their new limited time Island Vapes made by Good News. That's also available in disposable vapes, 510 carts, and live resin gummies. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders.
Petr Mrazek.
Petr Mrazek was fantastic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
this game could have been 4-1 Wild.
Sure, easily.
He made huge. There was I think it was early in the third period. He had that stretch where it was like 3 quality chances, and he made the save on each one of them. Like, it was impressive what he was able to do tonight.
Yeah, just steady, square to the shooter. As we talked to PD last week about Soderblom and how he's doing it, and Darren Pang told me the same thing for Blackhawks beat. Like, just being calm in the net. That's Petr Mrazek's game. Mm-hmm. Just stay between the posts, square to the shooter. I always think of the old, like, the vision cone. Remember when Madden tried to do, like, the vision cone?
Oh, yeah, with the quarterbacks.
I always
Peyton Manning's was, like, this wide. It was like sideline to sideline. Yeah, I remember that.
But, like, I always think of that when I see a goalie. It's kind of a good, like, visual to think of when you're imagining that. And since he's been a Hawk, really, has just been so strong positionally, and especially with Corey Crawford in the building.
Yeah,
the king of positioning.
That was nice to.
That was cool.
See.
But man, Mrazek was absolutely great.
I saw Corey leaving the building, talking to his old teammate Ryan Hartman.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said hello, but I didn't want to interrupt him.
Hartman was chirping at somebody today.
He's
Mrazek, maybe.
That makes sense.
He's always chirping at somebody.
Yeah.
It's kind of his game. But yeah, Mrazek was fantastic tonight. That third period.
They'll take care of it.
He watch out for his mom though. His rebound control was great all night.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a whole lot of, and when he was giving up rebounds, they were to the corners like he wanted to be. Nothing kicked out to the middle, and that.
Yeah.
Close to the shutout again. They were. I mean, Matt, can we talk about how freaking good Matt Boldy is?
That where he hit the crossbar in the post.
Mm-hmm.
That was such
with a crazy backhand shot.
drives to the net.
Right out of the
God.
like he was sitting in the penalty box for 2 minutes. They took that hooking call that gave the Blackhawks that 2-minute power play where they didn't do anything. And then
be more specific.
Comes the last one,
the second one,
the only one they had off of a Matt Boldy penalty. He comes out of the box, hits the crossbar, and then like a few moments later scores.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be on Team USA for Four Nations. He should be. He's big. He's fast. He's got a shot. But Mrazek, that break, the goal was on a breakdown. I know Seth Jones is taking a little bit of a beating for that play. Got tripped up, fell.
Yeah.
I turned on WGN to listen to our pal Charlie's post-game show.
You heard that caller too,
That was the first call.
Get Seth Jones out of here.
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think this Seth Jones guy is very good. He keeps putting us in these positions of stress and anxiety, and I don't like that. We should probably get him out of that spot.
Yeah, that was not an exaggeration. I think that was
the call.
Legit. That was the call.
That was a verbatim recording.
And Stacey, as soon as we were all in,
and his name was Bob.
Yeah,
weird.
And I said,
of course,
this guy's going to talk about Seth Jones. I knew it the second he opened his mouth that he was going to talk about Seth Jones.
Let's not let's just completely disregard the play he made in overtime to win the damn game.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're right about that because he not only does he gets the puck to Kurashev. And then just gets on his horse and heads directly to the net to cause chaos in front, and it worked, and that was the difference.
He just knew, hey, if we don't score here, it's probably going 2-0 the other way, but who cares? Let's get a goal, and it worked.
All right, we got to knock out some super chats here. We got a whole bunch of them, so thank you for those. We appreciate everybody for sending those in. Got one from Kyle, who says, on a scale of 1 to yes, how much do y'all hate?
Lost it.
I lost it. Sorry. There you go. How much do y'all hate doing the CHSN promo? Blink twice if you're not allowed to answer. We don't mind doing it. Their money's green.
We take their money.
Yeah, exactly.
The check cleared.
Yeah, thank you.
And you guys are here, so thank you.
That's right. Brady with a $5 super chat says, great W. Says, happy birthday to any fellow Marines in the chat. Yeah, we should talk about Military Appreciation Night.
Very good.
Fantastic job by the Hawks, as always, when they do these things. But a couple nice features on some of the veterans that they had there, and they showed the Warriors team that was at practice yesterday. As they do with any of these theme nights, the Blackhawks knocked it out of the park on Military Appreciation Night, too.
I'm sure if those things were allowed, they would have worn their Military Appreciation jerseys ahead of the game and auctioned them off and all that stuff, but you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Best part of the Bears game, by the way, were the coaches' hoodies. The white camo hoodies were pretty sweet.
That white, Arctic frost,
those are cool.
Camo design.
Let them keep them when they fire.
It's a real cool design.
I can't wait to see Matt
for a
Eberflus
horrible game
with his Iron Mountain box walking out of Hallis Hall with his sweatshirt sticking out of it. $10 super chat from McLovin.
Thank you.
He says, obviously, Bedard to Rockford is a joke.
And he's not. He can't even.
He also can't.
He can't. But he's in a sophomore slump. Bad bounces, trying to push through 2-3 guys. Still showing frustration. What gets him past this? I wouldn't. Yeah, the goals will come for him.
He's not played good.
He's got to shoot the damn puck though. Especially on the power play, dude. Rip it.
And he's
rip it.
Thinking and trying too hard.
Yes, he's thinking too much. He needs to just rely on the instincts that made him the #1 overall pick in the draft. You need to rely on the instincts that made you the player that multiple teams were willing to throw away an entire season to get you. Yeah. Stop thinking, start playing. I had somebody ask me on social media, on the Twitters earlier, why isn't he shooting as much this year? Is it coaching? I'm like, no.
Yes.
Definitely
Connor
not.
Bedard, stop shooting.
Luke Richardson is not standing on the bench with a controller not hitting the square button. He's thinking too much.
He's
and you could see it on the ice.
I think it's a symptom of this whole team at points this season they're trying to be too special. And Bedard is a special player, but when he's trying to do too much, it takes him out of what makes him a special player, which is his shot and his playmaking ability. And when he's forcing the playmaking ability and not utilizing the shot, he becomes ineffective. He's still a threat, but teams, it becomes easier to defend him because it's becoming a little bit more predictable. And I think when Bedard this team starts to try and overpass and play too pretty, then they get themselves in trouble where, it's pass it low, pass it high, pass it low, pass it high, go across, pass it low, pass it high, pass it low, pass to the middle, gets deflected, goes back the other way.
Well,
with zero shots on
and
that.
today in the power play tried a cross ice pass from the left wing boards to the right wing boards to set up a bad percentage one-timer anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the chances. Just if there's nothing there, if in doubt, use your God-given talent of a ridiculous top 3 in the NHL shot and put it on net. That's what got you here.
It surprises me that he's on that right side on the power play. How few times he just gets a puck and one touch and it's on the net. It surprises me how much he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Because he has that shot that was raved about in his draft. He scored 70 goals his draft year. And last season, he was on a 30-goal pace. And just to not utilize that so often, it's confusing to me, because if I could shoot the puck like that, like him, I would be firing 10 shots. Screw you guys. I'm shooting.
And there's no one in this coaching staff that would tell him to not do that.
Yeah.
Because every time he shoots, whether he scores or not, it is a problem for the goalie.
You know what?
They never look comfortable when saving a Connor Bedard shot. It's always like catching up with the collarbone, or it just deflects off the blocker or glove.
Yeah.
I've never seen a goalie square up to Bedard and be like, glove save, boom, in your face.
No problem.
It's always a tough shot to save.
You know what I want Connor Bedard to do on the power play?
Shoot the puck.
But you know how I want him to shoot?
Hard.
You guys are the effing worst.
Accurate.
Often.
I want him to be Alex Ovechkin or Alex DeBrincat.
I love
and
that.
Just stand at the dot with your
Rip
stick
it.
in the air and wait for the one-timer and bury it. That's all he should do on the power
Be this
play.
team's Ovechkin or Stamkos.
We saw Alex DeBrincat's getting paid a lot of money by the Detroit Red Wings for doing that here in Chicago. Stand at the dot, wait for the puck. You have other guys who can facilitate through the zone. Tavo, do your little thing, find him at the dot, shoot the puck, score a goal. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't move. Just stand there and score goals.
I swear to God, there's been times where you got Seth Jones working the point, and he maybe does a little fake, draws the D towards him, gives it to Bedard, and Bedard takes it and doesn't shoot, and you can see Seth Jones sounds of silence cues up in his head, dude.
Yeah.
Shoot it.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and they someone I think in the chat asked about what do they do about the power play. I don't know if it was a super chat or not, but
don't talk about it then.
It's just
no, I know.
It's the power play. It can set up good looks, but they don't take them.
Right.
Today there was at least 2 or 3 times in that first sequence where they had the back-to-back power plays where they're cycling the puck and it's going from Jones down to Reichel to Jones to Bedard, and that they're making the defense move to cover everything, which is what you're supposed to do on the power play to open up lanes, and then it would get to Bedard or it would get to Reichel, and they got tons of space to either skate in and shoot or rip one time, and they take it and they stick handle it and they look, and I'm like, why are you still trying to cycle it? You're doing exactly what you're supposed to get the defense out of position to open up a shooting lane. And you got, usually it's Bertuzzi that's net front. He's been effective in that role on the power play. Utilize that, shoot through screens. I think that's the biggest thing with this power play to get them back on track is to just get them firing more.
All I know is Alex Ovechkin is going to become the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer by standing at the dot his entire career and shooting the puck.
Right?
Well, he's also scored the most empty net goals.
Well, you can't score empty net goals unless you scored 2 power play goals from the dot and your team has a lead.
Also true.
That's right.
Just
exactly
do
right.
it on the power play. They're 5-on-5, do all your fancy stuff, whatever. Power play, get to the dot, stand there, score goals.
Yeah. All right. We got to hit the break zone. More on this coming up next. We also got to get to make sure you get your votes in for 4-star of the game. Is it close today, Nate? Or is someone running away with it? All right. Oh, that's a tease, mister. That's a veteran. All right. We'll be back with a whole bunch more right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
But first, I'm going to tell you about our pals, our friends, Chicago legends Empire Today. With Empire Today, you get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring, so of course they have copycats. We know about that. But Empire can't be beaten on quality, service, speed, so competitors advertise low-quality products that Empire simply won't carry. Empire won't promise the lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in your home that they wouldn't put in theirs. They keep shopping for floors simple with a curated product selection. Plus, they have the virtual floor designer. It's a great way to see how floors will look in any space. It's easy. Just snap a picture and instantly see how the new floors will look in your room. They pride themselves on convenience, being able to shop at home. You don't even have to wear pants to buy new floors at Empire. Wow. That is grade A in my book. They help customers shop for the floors where they will use the floors, so they will see exactly what their floors will look like in their home's lighting and decor, so they can make an informed decision. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use that promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for all the details.
Yes, and our friends at Coors Light are the presenting sponsors of WishFest, Chicago's concert for a cause. WishFest is back at the Salt Shed. Well, it was yesterday. I hope everybody had a good time at WishFest yesterday.
I wish I can go back in time to WishFest.
Yes, but Coors Light, they were the ones there, and boy, OAR, they lit it up. Mike Posner, I heard his set was great. Will Dorado, there's a reason they're indie folk sensations. Everyone learned yesterday at WishFest, especially with folk pop up-and-comer Hans Williams. You can still donate money to WishFest if you'd like. It's a very good cause. Wishfest.com is the place to go. That's WEISH. Fest.com. They have raised money for over 600 families facing cancer with financial gifts totaling over $3 million. And that was before yesterday's Wish Fest.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that number is significantly higher. So thanks to everybody that went. Thanks to Coors Lights for sponsoring it. And you know by now when it's time to choose chill, you choose a Coors Light. Head to CoorsLight.com/CHGO hockey to get some Coors Light delivered right now to your house with Instacart. Do it. Drink responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. That's called a hybrid read, my friends.
It sure is. That's called
dates are hard.
Changing on the fly.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Okay, a little bit more on the power play here. Like your point about Bedard just firing it. Like, so what drives me nuts about it is the 5-on-3 power play. That's the one where you're setting up for that one perfect shot. That's almost the universal strategy on a 5-on-3.
Yeah.
You're trying to move everybody left to right, left to right, left to right until they run out of gas, and then you've got a perfect opportunity to shoot. It feels like the Hawks, at least the players, are trying to run the 5-on-4 that way too. And it just doesn't work. I mean, think about your stereotypical power play goal that you see in the NHL. A shot from the point, maybe it's tipped in front, maybe the goalie makes a save and you score on a rebound. It's very simple.
I mean, a lot of the power play goals scored against the Blackhawks this year and last year especially were a lot of like backdoor plays. And it wasn't off of like really fancy like back and forth passing, cycling, and anything like that. A lot of it was shot, rebound, reset, getting two guys to the front of the net for, causing traffic, causing screens so that the defense is shifting back and forth. You also get the goalie moving back and forth, and that opens up everything. So if the goalie's, shifting to the near post and you got the puck down low, you can try and go across crease to get to the back door or get to the guy or it deflects. You get the guy in the bumper spot, picks up a rebound, puts it on net. There's just a lot that can be created through shots on goal. And like we said earlier, like there's no one telling these guys to not shoot the puck. You're never going to get yelled at for putting the puck on net because, we've said it multiple times this year, but, a shot on goal, if it gets deflected, you can go chase it, win a board battle, get control of the puck again, recycle it around, try again. You can get a deflection on net. If you get a save, you get a rebound. Or if you get a save by the goalie and they hold on to it, offensive zone face-off is your next play. And that's always another opportunity to create more. So shots on net are not a bad thing. Sometimes you have to credit teams for taking away lanes or blocking shots, like an excessive amount of block shots. Like if you get opportunities like that or games like that where those opportunities are just nullified, like there's not much you can do. But when it's like passed up opportunities to shoot and get, at least a shot with traffic, shot with a screen, like that's what gets frustrating.
Well, even 0 for 3 tonight, the Blackhawks are still 12th in the league in power play at 20.8%. So it's not like it's completely hopeless.
Right.
The problem with the power play, it's Jekyll and Hyde this year. Some nights it looks great. It's effective.
Mm-hmm.
That usually happens when Todd, I knew I was going to do that. Tyler Bertuzzi. This is what happens when you're born and watch hockey in the 90s.
Yes.
It's at its best when Tyler Bertuzzi's at the front of the net.
Yeah.
And Nick Foligno somehow finds them and they score.
Yeah.
Like when they simplify it, that's when it works. So it's not like they're not the, let's see here, the St. Louis Blues, worse in the league at 10.8%. That's pathetic. The Hawks are right there in the mix of it.
Yeah.
And they've shown that they know how to make it work. So when they have nights where it's just, what do we do? And that's the frustrating part. But that's a synopsis of this team all season.
Yeah.
You know how to do things. Why don't you do them all the time?
Yes.
It's like talking to an 8-year-old. Like, I know you know that you shouldn't do that. So why did you do it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Quick thought, though. Winnipeg Jets have the number 1 power play team in the league.
Makes sense.
You want to know what their percentage is?
It's above.
What's the Hawks percentage
Above
again?
20.8.
It's above 30.
It's going to be over 30,
It's double the Hawks. 41.9%.
That is not
totally
sustainable. I don't care. That is not sustainable.
When you're scoring on the
insane.
power play at 41.9%, you have a 14-1 record.
That's insane.
You illustrating that when the Jets are 14-1-1. A good power play is the great equalizer for teams with less skill. So if you have an effective power play, which it's very hard to believe the Hawks are even that high in rank, it can even things out, and you could compete against teams that are better than you. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about lanes opening up. We had a very good view from we were in 312 behind the Hawks net in the first period. So we had a very good view of the lanes the Hawks had on those early power plays, and they were there.
Yeah,
they were there, and maybe we have a better view than they do. Right? We don't like the hockey version of the all 22s.
Yeah, right.
It's much easier for us to pick apart than it is when you're on the ice seeing it happening.
Right.
But man, there's opportunity there to take it, and I don't know. I think maybe they just need to start getting rewarded, and it's not going to happen until they start shooting. And I just want someone to take Connor Bedard aside and say, we are not going to be mad at you if you're selfish.
Yeah.
That's what we want you to be.
We're mad at you because you're not selfish.
On the power play, especially on the power play. Be selfish. Take charge. You are our number 1 offensive weapon. We want you to act like it on the power play.
Right.
Like, no one's going to get mad at Ovechkin or Panarin or DeBrincat or Kane or McDavid or whoever you want to say for shooting the puck.
Right.
Does Cale Makar get mad at Nathan McKinnon for shooting? No. Right? Like, that's ridiculous. It's just this mindset of
an assist when he does.
Well, that helps too.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, just think of Seth Jones, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, Connor, here it is. Nice and slow, right on a platter for you. Pass.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I should just like pass him and then just be like this. Just fold the arms. Don't pass it back here. I don't want it.
Well, and I know some people are in the chat are just like, well, it's 12th, like it's going well. Like it is. Like having the 12th power play is not something to like stick your nose up at, but we're coming at it with like it's they've been effective at times, and they had a game where they were 3 for 3 on the power play. Like it's come in bunches, but you're trying to, it can be better because the opportunities are there. And if this team throughout the entire season ran a top 10 power play, like that would be a lot of fun. Like that would lead to more wins and more, better opportunities getting taken advantage of, and it just leads to better things.
When they do get set up, they get some decent looks. the biggest problem, aside from I think even above not shooting, is the zone entries have been tough. Like where it's the opponent knows they're going to stack 4 guys to the blue line and say, get past us.
Yeah.
Get past us, Lucas Reichel. Get past us, Connor Bedard, and we're going to have 4 guys just have their sticks out ready to defend it because they know there's no one's going to dump it in and get it.
The best zone entries tonight came from Taylor Hall, who just said, screw it, I'm going full speed.
Yeah.
And Alex Vlasic.
He had a really nice one. Yeah.
And Jones had some really good zone entries too. So it's like it's your defensemen who are bringing the puck in. And some of that might be because, okay, it's a defenseman. We need to fall back and take care of these forwards as they come in. But whatever's working, just stick with it. But, yeah, you got to get the puck in. Too many, winning the face-off would help too. Though they had a good face-off night tonight.
Yeah.
Coming off their worst face-off night.
52% tonight.
That's probably their best, if not. It's in the top 2.
Yeah.
It's on the podium.
The only person under 50% was Jason Dickinson, of all people.
Huh.
And he won 9 and lost 11. So right at almost at 50%.
You did the thing I enjoyed, and this is Luke Richardson learning from past mistakes. Did you see who was out there for the overtime to start?
Yep.
Dickinson, Foligno, and Vlasic.
Yep.
Like, we got to win this face-off, and if we don't, I need my best defenders out there because that's Kirill Kaprizov and Matt Boldy and Brock Faber.
And then as soon as they got possession, Bedard jumped on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
It's good strategy, and it worked.
It did, yes. Speaking of Luke Richardson, should we hear from the Hawks head coach?
Yeah.
It'll be ready in a moment. Do us a favor if you've not done it already. Hit that like button. I know a lot of people are watching, and again, we really do appreciate that with the delayed start and everything. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for waiting for us. But let's do a good old fashioned what chaos like spike in 3, 2, 1. Spike that like button for us.
Ooh.
Hit it, smash it, elbow smash it. Bonsai drop it, whatever you want to do.
Pile
that'd be
drive
good
it.
for your computer.
Frog splash.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Give it the D'Lo Brown.
Yeah, give it
Well,
the frog.
You don't want to break your computer though. Just hit the button. That's all we need from you. All right, let's hear from Luke Richardson, courtesy of Greg Boyson's phone.
He was really dialed in and definitely the best player on both teams tonight, I think, for sure. And I think, I thought we played a really solid game, but he was there all game when we needed him. But the third period, they kind of turned it on, and I think we, stopped making plays, and they had the puck too much, and Peter was excellent and kept us in there right to the end.
Do you have to talk after they tied about, okay, now we need to start pushing more, we can't just stay on our heels?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't have to. Guys did it on the bench and in front. Like they know that's the veteran presence and the difference. I think this year, since I've been here, after when we started losing players my first year at the end of the year. So that's great to hear. And I thought we had a couple pretty good shifts of just advancing the puck and forechecking, but still just too much openness at the end, like coming in. I think when they hit the post or crossbar. Just backing off too much. We've showed some clips on that, and we still got to get better at that on some of those line rushes against. And part of it is still 1 or 2 turnovers, and obviously the power play was a concern. The 2 turnovers at the blue line, they came back on 2-on-1s, and that's with the lead, you can't do that.
Do you consider 2 defensemen at all on the power plays?
No, I think that's a chance for us to put it away, and that's how we've practiced it. So, we've done that, I think, once or twice earlier in the year. I don't know if it was the Edmonton game or and maybe even Colorado, but that game's a little bit more of a 4-5-2 game type thing at that time, and just kind of want to put a spread out there and be safe. But that's a really good opportunity for us to try and execute, and we just didn't execute is what happened.
How good was Dickinson's line against Kaprizov tonight?
Really good. Obviously, that's what we saw most of last year. I think doing the job defensively and getting rewarded offensively because they're usually above the other team in the O zone, and when the other team misses a puck or makes a mistake, they have the ability to score. And there's always been interchangeable pieces there, but obviously Dickinson is the familiar face that's always there, and he was much better in the face-off circle.
Putting Anderson back there, it seems like that always just elevates him more.
Yeah, they've played some time together, and the left side's kind of rotated around with either Nick or Mikheyev and now Tavo, and they all really know what the job is, and they've all stepped up and done the job. So I'm pretty comfortable with whoever's there in that position. And Andy's he's a pleasure to coach. He whatever you need, and I think that's a perfect role for him, and that's why they're so good on the penalty kill as well. All right. Not much to say after a good one.
All right, there's Luke Richardson. Just a good night all around at the United Center. And for those that weren't at the takeover, man, they're such a good time, and especially these game day experience ones we do.
Fun, yeah.
At Fifth Third, where you get to go in the locker room, you get to they actually shut down last time we were able to go all the way up in the workout room, and they shut that down this time.
Oh,
it was not available this time.
Didn't get your workout in.
But I was explaining to some people in the locker room how the logo used to be on the ground. Everyone's like, "That's dumb."
It still is at the United Center.
Yeah.
They haven't changed it yet.
Fifth Third, though, is where the change was.
They put on the ceiling there, and there's some pictures from our event tonight. And you don't have to be a diehard to come to these takeovers, but it helps. It makes it cheaper. But there's Evil Bill in the foreground there. Tim is behind me. A couple other, I'm bad with names. I think AJ's in the photo there somewhere. I got some glare on me. But a bunch of Tim was drinking a Mai Tai. I've not had a Mai Tai in a long time.
Back memories. I didn't know they still had those there.
Bad memories.
Well,
these have nothing in them. 2 hours later.
Ed Chin Mai Tais or whatever they call it.
Yeah, Chin. Bob Chin?
Bob Chins.
That
was the chain seafood place, right?
Yeah, so I think I think the Mai Tais were from there.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I don't know.
Anyway, that's a good way to get the job done quick and tasty.
It's a good way to get hangovers and diabetes all at the same time.
I had both. And the food they had tacos at the takeover and
your own tacos.
Good time. That was a lot of fun.
The skating was good. Got out on the ice. Lots of kids, so it was.
It was crazy. It was a lot more crowded than last year.
A lot more crowded. Yeah, a lot more kids with those little push balance things. So got to work on your bobbing and weaving. So it was good. It was a good time.
How many kids did you take out?
0. I'm a competent skater.
Our producer Nate took a sweet video too of the
it was good
of
timing.
The overtime winner.
This was our view of the victorious moments.
I jumped up quicker than I thought.
Cat-like reflexes.
There's Evil Bill having a good time.
Evil Bill.
Evil Bill always has a good time.
That's Evil Bill's son, by the way, that he's lifting up.
That kid was...
He was awesome.
That kid was a trip.
He was the highlight of the night.
That was good. Then, uncopywritten.
Yes.
Crowd noise. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Good experience. We got 2 more takeovers this year. If you weren't able to get out to this one, keep your eyes peeled as we'll announce 2 more later this year, and then we will have some sort of event. Still hammering out the details, but some sort of event around the Winter Classic. Lots of opportunities to come out and hang out and be a part of the CHGO community here, and always have a good time with our Blackhawks group. It's a good group.
Yeah, I think tonight was the only one with the pregame experience.
Yeah.
But there's some have all the details hammered out, but there'll be some nice perks to some of the other ones coming up too. So
yes, there will.
Stay tuned, and it's a good opportunity to become a diehard if you want to save 20% on those events. You can do it. This event went from, was it 70 to 55? Was
55 with the diehard discount?
Yeah, and great tickets. And thanks to our friends at Circus Sports for facilitating it and making it much more affordable for everyone to attend. So with that, pregame party, the Fifth Third Arena thing, the game for $55, that's a great deal. So become a diehard today at allchgo.com. You get a free CHGO shirt or hat. Mario's got the hat on. We got one on set here, or $35 towards a sweatshirt if you want to do that. So do it, allchgo.com. You also get access to all of our great written content, members only Discord, priority on Mailbag Monday, 20% off all merch across the company. It's a great deal. Pays for itself. It helps keep us going. So we would appreciate that. And a bunch of people, Evil Bill says, thank you guys for an incredible experience. Thank you, Bill. Bill's always kind of he's like the head vibes officer of our takeovers. He's just super friendly.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of gravitates towards Bill.
Super dedicated too, coming all the way out from Virginia for these things. Like, it's awesome.
Second game of the year. He's already been to 2 this year.
Yeah, he went to an IceHogs game earlier this year too. He said,
they went. I saw Bill and his sons at practice yesterday. They were at the IceHogs game Friday. Practice yesterday.
Yeah,
got the whole experience.
I want to be Evil Bills when I grow up.
Me too. And ordering tons and tons of bacon.
That's always good.
Yeah, he really is living a dream. All right, we got to get to our segments here. We have a winner for the 4-star, Nate. Who do we got? I really don't know yet. There he is, Alex Vlasic.
Alex Vlasic, wearing the home whites.
Maybe our friend.
Yeah, get around at any time.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe by February.
That would be great.
That'd be a good time.
That would be great.
Yeah, Vlasic had a really solid game tonight. Just rock solid, super steady guy. Like, he's becoming that type of player that you never worry about, and it really only like jumps off the page if he's having a bad game, because it's just
which is pretty rare.
Which is rare. Like, you go through the game. And he's just solid. Like, he's really, you talk about Matt Boldy getting consideration for the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Don't be surprised if there's some chatter around Alex Vlasic, the way he's been playing this year, being considered for, potentially representing Team USA, because, man, he is so solid.
Look, if you go towards that with the eye of the 6th best American defenseman, he has an argument, and you might be sacrificing some offense and some flash and some name recognition, but you are getting a dude you could put out there for 25 minutes every game against the best competition in the world and feel great about it.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely needs some recognition. He has gotten, we've been talking about this for a while, but he's gotten to the point where you don't even worry about him anymore. He's just that good. What was the percentage? Was it like in the 60s? Was it really, really high for Vlasic, Nate?
62%.
62, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
He just stands out every single game.
I do believe they actually made the announcement of when they're going to make the announcements of the roster.
The announcement of the announcement.
Early December. So about.
Okay. Well, the tournament tournament's early February, right?
But yeah. So apparently it's going to be like all 4 teams will announce it like in prime time, so we'll get.
Well, they've already announced a few players,
right? Like the captains But I think the full rosters are coming out. Elliot Friedman said it last night while I was watching Oilers Canucks.
As one does.
Early December. I don't remember exactly what date he said. Whatever that first Saturday in December, probably 4th, 5th, somewhere in there. We'll get that full announcement. So, and I'm sure it will be a lot like maybe Vlasic doesn't get in on the first thing, but then there'll be injury replacements, or there'll be guys that might be like, I'm gonna skip it.
Maybe,
and then maybe he gets in that way as an alternate. Similar to Ethan Del Mastro at the World Juniors a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's
you're going to be our, just in case somebody gets hurt guy, and then by the gold medal game, you're the best defenseman on the team.
Playing the most minutes, yeah.
By the way, I want to shout out Brandon, who I also met today at the Takeover. Surprised his dad with a trip to the
how about
Takeover.
That?
Very, very cool. So yeah, it was just good seeing everybody there. That's for sure. Just to recap, by the way, Alex Vlasic's night, just another night at the office for him. 23-43, a shot, 2 takeaways, 2 block shots. Ho-hum. He was the 6th rated player in the game. He was the 3rd rated Hawk behind only Petr Mrazek and Jason Dickinson in this one, according to the Big Blue Lions. He was just outstanding. Just another night, another great game. And a lot of people, by the way, a guy who certainly could have been nominated that wasn't. There's another defenseman on this team who's starting to get to those levels, and that's Wyatt Kaiser.
He's really
just
solid.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
And I want to call out our friend Lebowski, who early in the show said, if we're going to advocate for trading Wyatt Kaiser, we never have done that. What we said was, if the Hawks want to trade for a proven number 2 center, it might take someone like Wyatt Kaiser to do it.
We're softening the
That's
blow
not
for
advocating
you
a
guys.
trade.
We have never come on the show and said, God, we should trade Wyatt Kaiser today.
Yes.
Right now.
It's, hey, in order to get something good, you have to give up something good.
It's not going to be.
It might be Wyatt Kaiser.
Right. It's not going to be T.J. Brody and a 6th-round pick.
Can I give out a shout out to T.J. Brody?
He did have a better game today.
The last 2 games, he's been.
Fine.
As I said before we went on postgame, yes. Congratulations for not being ass tonight. But he was even better than that tonight. Replacement level defenseman. That's all you want from him.
It's fine. That's exactly what you want. Brody played 12:54.
He was much better tonight.
Didn't register anything on the score sheet. No shot attempts. Fine. Had a hit.
2 block shots.
Had a giveaway, but I do think he got on that giveaway. I think he had high stick that didn't get caught because he came off the ice kind of like holding his mouth. Also credit with 2 block shots. That's fine. If he can be out there and not make a mistake, great.
It's being a like 3rd pair defenseman in the NHL. Sometimes success is as if you're a referee or you're an offensive lineman.
Yes.
If I don't notice you, you're probably doing just fine.
And I barely noticed him tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good. Usually we were noticing him because hand grenade passes to the other team, getting pushed off of pucks, falling down.
Yeah,
just
missing assignments. Yeah.
And when you don't notice TJ Brody, he's doing his job. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, Kaiser has definitely started in training camp. Like he really just grabbed hold of that opportunity out there to, take that spot in the defensive rotation that was basically 1 out of the 6 was open. And he really just grabbed hold of it and has really played well this season. He's in and out of the lineup early on a little bit. He had the health stuff that kept him out for a little bit of time, but since he's been back in, he's been rock solid.
Speaking of rock solid, time for Who's Your Hawk?
Yeah.
Let's pretend like I don't know who won.
I'm protesting this one, by the way.
Why?
Oh. Uh-oh.
I'm protesting.
The game didn't start.
You're just the worst.
You told me to change it.
I did not say to change it.
Let's go back and review the transcript.
Anyway.
What time was it?
Game time.
What time did
Jay
I put
wins
in?
with Seth Jones 5.5. Yeah, but you already said Reichel, and then you changed it.
At 2:08.
Yeah, 2 minutes later you changed it. You're not allowed to do
I'm sorry, had the puck dropped? Had the graphic been constructed?
So the way what happens is Jay originally I picked Foligno first.
Yeah.
At 1:30 p.m.,
Mario
Greg
picked
Boyson
Connor
said,
Bedard.
I'm going with Foligno for Who's Your Hawk. At 1:49, I said, Bedard for me. At 2:08, Jay said, Reichel. At 2:10, Greg said, when the top line is shut down, we'll all tie with 1 point. Laughing emoji. Jay at 2:10 said, okay, fine, give me Jones. And at 2:11, Greg said, no, the pick is in. At 2:15, Nate said, so is it Jones or Reichel? And at 2:17, Jay said, Jones in all caps. And at 2:17, our graphic was made.
Yeah.
Sounds legal to me.
Bunk. Because
I did not concede.
If you would have had Lucas Reichel, you would have had 1 point instead of 5.5. So
my
prediction was almost true.
It was, yeah.
I'd still be winning handily. But I will take my 5.5 point victory and my swag chain. Thank you very much.
I'm tired of rewarding people for cheating.
Well,
how
things work.
I almost went with Vlasic, but when you went with Foligno first, I was just like, well, I gotta go with Bedard, right? I gotta stop thinking that way.
Yeah, that's the thought I've had the last few games. That's why I'm in last place.
Until he
but
proves
I'm
us
chipping
wrong.
away. I'm 1.5. I gained 1.5 points on second place, and I can't get the first place unless I get the second place first.
That's true. That's
correct.
That's how math works.
Yes. So coming for you.
But yeah,
All right.
Jay put some space on me in second place, so we're a little spaced
Yeah,
out
it's
now.
not official until the graphic is made. Those are the rules.
Okay, that's the rule now moving forward.
Yes. All right, we got to wrap things up.
Garbage.
We'll be back tomorrow at 2:30. Mailbag. You like the mailbag? Why not?
It's an optional practice.
It is an optional practice.
I'm taking the option.
Yes. So we will be back tomorrow at 2:30 with Mailbag Monday. Diehards, hit us up in the Discord. We'll send out a tweet tomorrow morning that you can respond to as well.
One of us will.
Not all at the same time.
All three of us
within
at the
3
same
minutes
time.
of each other. It'll be out. So make sure you respond to that. We'll get your questions answered. It's going to be a good time. One final reminder, become a diehard, allchgo.com. We already told you all the benefits, but gives you some priority on joining us for these takeovers, and you get to save some coin too. So we'll hopefully see you at the next one, next two, maybe at the Winter Classic thing. Lots to come. Allchgo.com to become a diehard. Talk to you tomorrow on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.